Guten Tag, hier ist Frau Hanke. I am just going to talk a little bit about some of the sentences that I saw as I was reading the assignment that was due on the 7th of April. You wrote about the coronavirus and what is going on here in Minnesota. I have on the screen right now a reminder of what the assignment was. To write 10 to 12 sentences and use the sentences in the articles as models. Make sure you go back and read it out loud or whatever you have to do to make sure it sounds right. And edit before you turn in for comprehension as well as grammar. So make sure somebody can understand it, and then also pay attention especially to the verbs. So here are a few things that I noticed that will help you as you go back and clean those up. So I have a few sentences. The articles, the paragraphs that I got turned in looked good. They were understandable for sure, but I have a few comments. For example, in this one, am Lebensmittelgeschäfte viele Leute haben Masken. First of all, the most important thing is haben is going to go right after Lebensmittelgeschäft and take out the comma, because remember, verb goes second. Verb goes second. And then another little thing, generally Germans would keep that in the singular. They don't pluralize things as much as we do. Im Lebensmittelgeschäft haben viele Leute Masken. Or even better would be to say tragen viele Leute Masken. Another one, in Geschäften Menschen tragen Masken und halten sich von anderen fern. I bet you can guess what I'm going to say. Verb goes second. So in Geschäften tragen Menschen Masken und halten sich von anderen fern. And whoever wrote this, it's a beautiful sentence. I have a feeling you got some help on a phrase there from a translator. It works, but make sure that you practice it so it becomes part of your own speech at the same time. What's next? Ich kann nicht Toilettenpapier kaufen für Stunden. So I can't understand the buying of toilet paper is what this person is trying to say. So a couple different things you can do. Ich kann den Hamsterkauf von Toilettenpapier nicht verstehen. So kann, and the other verb is going to be at the end in the en form. And what you can't understand, that's going to be in an accusative spot. So, ich kann den Hamsterkauf von Toilettenpapier nicht verstehen. Or maybe you would say something like, ich kann nicht verstehen, warum Leute so viel Toilettenpapier kaufen. Something like that. All right. A couple of other things that came up. Again, you guys got into this and wrote some real things down. So jeder haben Angst. Everyone is afraid, and I'm glad that you're using haben for Angst, because you have fear in German. That's what you say, jeder haben Angst. Jeder means one person, every person. I'm sorry, not one. It means every person. Every person has fear, so jeder hat Angst. Angst is a noun, so it's capitalized. Hat is because jeder is like a singular person. Jeder hat Angst. Alle bin Angst, aber da ist nicht wir kannst machen. So there's nothing for us to do, I think is what they're trying to say. So everyone's afraid. Alle haben Angst. There we have that hat again. Aber wir können nichts machen. We cannot do anything. So können is a modal verb, so the other verb goes to the end in the en form. Another way you could express it, alle haben Angst, aber es gibt nichts zu machen. There is nothing to do. Remember, es gibt is the phrase for there is, and then nichts zu machen. Moving right along. Alle muss bleiben drinnen und haben keinen Kontakt mit anderen. Again, beautifully expressive sentence, and just a little bit with the verbs. Alle müssen drinnen, and then bleiben will go to the end. of right before the, so alle müssen drinnen bleiben und haben und keinen Kontakt mit anderen haben. Because alle müssen drinnen bleiben, everyone must stay inside, alle müssen keinen Kontakt mit anderen haben. So again, verbs are second place or at the end, second place or at the end. And there's one more. Wir können nicht vor dem 10. April gehen, which is great. Vor dem 10. April, perfect. And you have the können and the verb at the end, which is good. I would just use the word ausgehen. We can't go out before the 10th of April. So those all look good. A few other things. This last page, just a couple more minutes. This last page, these are things that I know that we have not practiced doing and learning about. Viele Dinge wurden abgesagt oder verschoben. And absagen and verschieben are not verbs that we've been practicing. And then the wurden is the passive. So for those people who don't know what this means, it means many things were canceled or postponed. So this makes me think that this person who wrote this put that whole sentence into a translator and got that. It works, but again, as your language teacher, as your German teacher, I can tell that that's something that we haven't practiced how to say. So again, use the dictionaries, but try to express things simply so that you're not having to look up and come up with complex forms. Ich habe keine in Panik geratenen Menschen in Geschäfte gesehen. In Panik geratenen Menschen, that's beautiful. I was in my 5th year of college German before I could say that. Schulen, Restaurants und nicht wesentliche Unternehmen sind die größten. And wesentlich, very expressive word. Wesentliche Unternehmen makes me think that this is probably a whole phrase or a whole sentence that was looked up. And then also sind die größten, I'm not sure what, sind die größten what? Are the biggest what? So schools, restaurants, and smaller enterprises basically are the biggest something. Yeah, that's it. So those of you who haven't had a chance to finish and turn in those sentences, please do this assignment. This is what I am having you do as your assignment today, and it will be due before we meet again on Tuesday. Will be our next meeting. If the 4 of you who did turn it in, I'm going to turn it back to you, and I want you to make corrections and edit a little bit more based on what you've seen and heard, and keep looking for other things. I didn't pull everything out of every paragraph that I had. Clean it up and turn it in, and I will be grading it then. And this will definitely help you on the assessment that will be coming up in a week or 2. All right, that's all for today. Schönen Tag noch. Tschüss.